Welcome back. I'm Ted Thomas. I've been involved in tax lien certificates and tax default deed business for approximately 30 years. Today in video 2, it's all about Ohio tax deed auctions and sales and how they work. This is a 2-part series. The first video was about Ohio tax lien certificates. If you missed it, you can go back and check it out later. Open up your mind. I'll give you some information about Ohio tax deeds. That means they're going to auction off the property. Make sure you stay to the end because I'm going to show you 2 very important things when I end this video on how to avoid making the biggest mistakes at tax defaulted auctions. Now, many people wonder, is Ohio a tax lien or a tax deed state? Well, it's both. So the first video I did was about tax lien certificates. This one is more about tax defaulted property or tax deeds. So let me tell you about Ohio. First of all, the population, in round numbers, is about 11 million people. They have major auctions in places like Cuyahoga County, Cleveland, or Franklin County, which is Columbus in the middle of the state. In other words, high population areas. There's a total of 88 counties in the state. That means there could be 88 different auctions, each jurisdictions that have their own rules, and some are tax liens and some are tax deeds. So 34 of those counties actually sell tax lien certificates that pay up to 18%, and that's an annualized rate of return. Now, the other 54 counties, they're going to sell tax defaulted property, which means when you get the document, which is a deed, you actually own the property. In the event the property owner doesn't pay the property tax, they are delinquent. The treasurer will send notices of default by registered mail. That's called due process of law. They're telling the property owner, if you don't pay the property tax, the county is going to confiscate. That is, they're going to seize the property. The county is going to seize the property and they will evict the people on the property, and the county treasurer will then proceed to auction, that is, sell the property to collect the past due revenue to pay the back taxes. The county will evict the owners from the property, and it will be sold without a mortgage or a deed of trust loan. In other words, the mortgage and the deed of trust loan are wiped out at a tax deed sale. What have we learned in this short mini-series? If the property owner doesn't pay the county in Ohio, the county treasurer will either issue a tax lien certificate or they'll start the process of confiscating the property to resell it at a public auction. Auctions can be online, they can be offline. It's going to be up to the county. So you're going to have to learn both ways to do it. I don't make the rules. The legislature made the rules. The county and the legislature make the rules, and then the county enforces the rules at the local level. The county is attempting to collect property taxes. Why? Because the county pays the county bills with the revenue from taxes. The county needs money to operate. The money is like lubrication that keeps the wheels of government going. In order to get that money, the county will sell. They'll auction tax lien certificates, or they will actually auction the property. It'll be one or the other. If the county doesn't collect the money, they could end up bankrupt. The county won't be able to pay the court system. They won't be able to pay the jails. They won't be able to pay the police or the fire department or the school teachers or fix the roads. So they have to collect property tax. Now, here's what you don't want to think about. Everyone says, oh, it's an auction, so everything's going to be a bargain. Well, I'm here to assure you everything is not a bargain. I'm going to tell you, you need to be careful when you're buying a tax defaulted auction, because some of the counties, doesn't matter what the price is, they're going to add to that price at least another 10% just to pay the auctioneer if they have an auctioneer running the sale. Plus, some of these properties are used and abused, and some are just junk. This is called a buyer's premium when there's an auctioneer selling the property. The auction company could add at least an additional 10% to the bid. A $50,000 bid could have a $5,000 premium added to the $50,000. Auctions are auctions. Simply said, buyer beware. It's caveat emptor. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Some of these properties are junk. You're not buying country club properties. You're buying C and D properties at these auctions. If you can get one for a bargain in a country club, I'm going to tell you, go ahead and buy it. But most of the properties are auctioned, are used and abused. I call them C and D properties. So let's talk about your exit strategy. The objective should be to buy the property low and then resell the property at a low price to someone that could be a fixer-upper person or someone that could make or keep it and try and make big money on the deal. But basically, the difference is the margin, and you want to buy it lower than the comparable values. I teach people to buy low and sell low because there's so many bargain hunters at these auctions. Now, I promise you at the beginning of the video, I would tell you about a couple of mistakes that you definitely want to avoid. If you're a beginner or a newcomer and you're interested in participating at auctions, there are a couple of things that you don't want to do, and I see it happen every day. Number one, you don't want to purchase a property at auction if you have not inspected the physical condition of that property. In other words, had boots on the ground. That's number one. Number two, you want to make sure that you have checked the neighborhood and you know that it's a good neighborhood and not a bad neighborhood. If you buy a good property in a bad neighborhood, you're going to have a tough time trying to get it sold. You must look at the property. What if it had burned down? What if there'd been a big storm? What if there was a flood? What if there's a tornado? Anything could have happened to this property. You don't want to buy a property unless you've seen the property. The other big mistake that I want you to watch for, and when you get to the auction, is some people are way too eager. They want to do a good job. They're motivated. They want to buy something and make a lot of money. However, they start bidding before they've ever looked at a property. Do not buy a property you haven't looked at, and have you analyzed the neighborhood? Do you know what the comparables are selling for in the neighborhood? If you don't know the comparable in the neighborhoods, do not bid. These two mistakes cost people a lot of money. It takes a while to develop the exit strategy. First of all, you have to know what the property is worth in the neighborhood and what's it going to sell for. Then you'll know where you can bid. You can't bid until you know what you're going to be able to sell it for. If you don't know the estimated selling price, you don't want to bid on the property. You might bid too high, and now you're not going to be able to sell for a large profit. This happens at every auction by those who bid and pay too much. Ask yourself, what are you going to do with the property if you can't sell it? This is a big problem. These are two big mistakes that people make at every auction. When you attend a tax deed auction, you're not buying from a homeowner. You're buying direct from the county. Caveat emptor means buyer beware. The county sells as is. There's no guarantee of property condition, and the title has no warranty that it's free of defects. Ohio could be a gold mine for the educated buyer. I recommend beginners seek out experienced attorneys to review the Ohio rules and explain the complete process. I personally consult and employ experienced coaches who give me their real-life example and their hands-on experience. To guide me, I look for someone who has navigated the obstacles and been successful at tax defaulted auction, not just buying at the auction, but selling for profits. I have a gift for you. Sign up below. It's an auction hotspot calendar where you can see where auctions are coming up in the United States.